What's going on, guys? I'm Jada Black. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about NBA player John Wall. John Wall has had a tough last couple of years. He lost his mother, his grandmother, and he has struggled with injury in his previous season with the Houston Rockets. And he did an interview and he talked about how he wanted to end it all due to the losses he had personally and due to what he was going through professionally. He just was not in the right headspace. You know, I did a video about Tekashi 6ix9ine yesterday, and I spoke about in the latter part of the video how he went live and talked about why he hasn't put out new music and how he was in a dark place. And what people got to understand is that a lot of us, especially a lot of us as melanated men, we go through a lot of stuff that we don't even talk about. And in our society, you know, we're supposed to have a certain image of ourselves, and we try to portray that as if nothing can bother us. But a lot of things bother us, but no one cares about how we feel. So we bottle it up. And John Wall was speaking about the things that he went through and why he felt that it was necessary to do this particular interview, to speak on it and to hopefully help others who are going through these situations. See, when you take losses personally in your life, it can affect you. And when a guy who's as famous as he is, as talented as he is when he's healthy, you know, you want to be able to be at your best, both physically and mentally, when you're playing sports. But it doesn't even have to be sports. You know, you could be somebody that works a regular job or whatever, and you're going through things personally and you can't really express it. Because a lot of times women have gotten a pass for going through personal things at home and then bringing that particular drama to work, and they take it out on everybody else. You know, I think us as men, we're taught to bottle things up, and we're taught to not really make a bother or fuss out of certain things, even though it's bothering us. And looking at what John Wall went through, it would explain why it's gotten to where he is now. He's signing a 2-year deal. Basically, the second year of that deal is an option for the team. It's almost like a prove it deal, because they want to know whether he can still go out there and be effective. And maybe that's something that he feels like will motivate him. He's only 31 years old. I remember John Wall when he was at Kentucky, right? He's the best player coming out of high school, went to Kentucky. I still remember those days. And the guy has all the talent in the world. It's all about where can he land, where he can finally get back on track. Because it seemed like he went from being the guy to sort of figuring out where his career is going to go from here. But again, you know, especially us melanated men, we go through a lot and we bottle it up, and that's not a good thing. I do think therapy, or getting out our problems, being able to speak openly, not maybe publicly, but openly to someone else about the things that we go through, I think is healthy. I see people take the things that are going on in their personal life and they bring it to social media in the most negative ways. You can look at the stuff that people post and you can tell that they're bringing all their negativity onto social media because they haven't been able to deal with whatever's going on at home in a more productive way, right? So let's get into this Yahoo article. It says John Wall opens up about the last 2.5 years, his darkest place I've ever been in. He says, while it's wise to be skeptical of all the summer workout reports, there is optimism around the return of John Wall with the Clippers this season. Mark Stein wrote on Sunday, a source told him Wall looks sharp in his offseason workouts and appears poised to be a contributor for the Clippers. Others have echoed those sentiments, including Paul George. It's a bounce back from a very dark place for Wall, who has played 40 games over the last 3 seasons due to injuries, the CV-19, and the Rockets sending him home. But what was public was only a fraction of what Wall had to deal with the past 30 months. Wall opened up about all of it, including the thoughts of self-harm, the self-harm thoughts, and seeing a therapist, which I think is great. You know, when speaking at a garden dedication for his mom at Salvation Army of Wake County in North Carolina, where he grew up. And this is the post here. He said, the darkest place I've ever been in. I mean, at one point in time, I thought about ending it all. I mean, to tear my Achilles, my mom being sick, my mom passing away, my grandma passed a year later, all this in the midst of the CV-19, at the same time, me going to chemo, me seeing my mom take her last breath, wearing the same clothes for 3 days, laying on the couch beside her. If I can get through this, I can get through anything in life. For me to be back on top where I want to be and see the fans still want me to play, support from my hometown, their support period means a lot. I had to go find a therapist. You know, a lot of people think I don't need help. I can get through it at any time, but you got to be true to yourself and find out what's best for you. And I did. That's very important. That's very important, people. Therapists, I think, do work. You have to find the right person for you. Not every therapist is going to work for everybody. You know, some people think that they can move through life without getting their issues squared away. That's why it bleeds over into their relationships. It bleeds over into their parenting. It bleeds over into their job. Because if you don't get help, okay, for the issue that you have, I'm talking to you black men, it's going to spill over. It's gonna go in the form of alcoholism, drugs, okay, violence. You need to get help for your issues. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this video, because I want to see black men do better, because we're not in a good place right now. And I think embracing the changes, embracing getting therapy is one of the best things we could possibly do. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with talking to somebody and getting through the issue that you had, not only in your recent life, but throughout your entire life. Because you don't want those problems controlling you. And too many people allow the issues from their past to control them. And that's why they're never able to fully move on and lead happy lives, because they're constantly dealing with their past. And their past, a lot of people can't defeat their past or even their recent present, because they're not getting the help to sort through those issues. Good on Wall for talking about this. It matters. Wall is the latest NBA player to be honest and step forward, following the lead of DeMar DeRozan and Kevin Love in looking to take the stigma off of seeking help and seeing a therapist. You know, there should be no stigma in seeing a therapist at all. I think us as men, we have this stereotype that we're supposed to be tough, that we're not supposed to seek help. But is that a stereotype we did to ourselves? Is that what society wants us? Because I don't think the way society is going, I don't think the powers that be want us to be in a stable mind. You know, they want us to be weakened. They want us to be extremely, extremely flawed and not work through those flaws and maybe accept certain things and also get through other things. And that's why I think that it's important that we open our eyes to what's going on out here. And instead of lying to ourselves to make it seem like nothing is wrong when there's a lot of things going on, it manifests itself. What's on the inside will manifest itself on the outside. Wall missed the 2019-2020 season while he recovered from his torn Achilles. He played 40 games the next season in Houston, but sat out all last season, increasingly getting frustrated that the Rockets did not play him or trade him. Wall wisely opted into his $47 million for the season, was bought out by the Rockets after no trade emerged, and quickly signed with the Clippers. He will split time at the point in Los Angeles with Reggie Jackson. Keeping Wall healthy will be the key for Los Angeles. He hasn't played more than half a season since 2016, 2017. I told y'all when John Wall is healthy, he can be a very, very good contributor. But seeing that he hasn't been healthy since 2016, that's not good. It's not good. But hopefully he can work through those things physically and get to the point to where he's not relied upon. You see, John Wall was the guy in Washington. And because he was the guy, they relied on him heavily. But this time around, he won't be relied upon. He's a guy that they can go to when they need him. They have Reggie there, so they can, rotate with those guys. But when he has played, he's been a solid to good. The explosive burst may not be the same, but there is more craft in Wall's game than he sometimes gets credit for. And the Clippers with Tyronn Lue could bring it out of him. Wall is on a team with a chance to win a ring. That legacy should be added motivation. But after the past 30 months, just getting on the court is motivation enough. And that's as far as John Wall is concerned. Hopefully John Wall is getting through this and is getting at a point to where, he can help that organization when they have the pieces there. They just got to put it together. They don't need a bunch of elite guys. Toronto proved that a couple of years back, that you don't need a bunch of elite guys. All you need is a bunch of guys who can come together, play their roles right, have some leadership on the court, and you're going to be able to be successful. So hopefully it works out for John Wall. The dude's been through a lot. It would explain a lot of things that are going on. So yeah, man, that's all I have to say. Make sure y'all like the video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I will see y'all on the next one. Y'all take care.